Do you like to give?
I love to give.
Do you like to receive?
Almost as much as I like giving.
What if somebody died and gave you something important?
Like what?
Well, we should talk about it. But we won't jump ahead of ourselves too far. But you guys, this might be one of the more insane American Girl books we've read, I think.
It really took a turn.
It's really like Vibe City
Yeah.
for the first 2.5 chapters.
Real girl crush energy.
Real girl crush, very cute.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it. And then sharp left turn off a cliff into depression and gloom.
It was really tough.
So, I mean, I think no preamble needed.
No, let's just get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay, guys. Kaya's Hero, a story of giving.
Is it?
It's like, what if you had no choice in the giving away of the thing?
What if someone gave you something super, super important?
Yeah.
And you were
But, like, there was a really, really evil catalyst for the giving of it to you.
This did have just a lot of complicated emotions to it.
And there's a lot of like asides to Two Hawks in the fucking recorder that really bothered me. But we'll get
Real B plot.
I literally was
Real F plot.
to go back and add in the shit about him just to remind myself it happened because I was like, I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, whatever. So forgive me, you guys. This book is kind of
Crazy.
wordy. Also,
Yeah.
a lot happens in every chapter, but
Oh, yeah.
not. It's very redundant.
It's very vibes, like you said.
And then all of a sudden,
Everything
all at once. Okay, so you guys, chapter 1, the runaway horse. Okay, guys. So chapter 1, Kaya is hanging out and she is taking care of her baby cousin.
Light on the water.
Then the water.
I do have to say, the names got really hard at this point. Like, there are too many names that are not traditional names.
Yes, we get a lot of names that are kind of just not like you're not sure who's going to be important characters.
Yeah.
Kind of like the first book where you're given just suddenly a bunch of them and you're like, oh, okay, great. Hopefully I don't have to remember all those people.
Mm-hmm.
So she's with the baby, light in the water, and her aunt, running alone, is out gathering some wood. So
are we still with Mom's family?
yes, we're still. I think so. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
We've made it back to the camp.
We have Kalpsa still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is important for you guys to know. This book just jumps in.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of preamble, much like the beginning of this episode. There's not a lot of preamble into how we got to where we are.
Yeah.
If you will. So, Kaya is helping out and running alone is basically like, oh, she likes you. Like, she's so cute and skip with you. And Kaya's like, she's so well behaved, unlike my little brothers who are rascals and who I hate and who are evil.
Wingspan and Sparrow.
She's like, let's go hang out with the horses. So yeah, go on the horses. And then they're using the horses for their collecting of the wood. Going into like a little canyon all together. And you guys, Little Fawn is so back.
Yeah, Little Fawn.
Also, this is where the remark happens that you were talking about in the last episode.
Oh, yes.
Where Kaya is thinking about how her horse was taken from her.
And my sister.
Sister? Yeah. It literally, here you go. Kaya's horse, Steps High, was stolen with the other Nini Poo horses. And in a raid, Kaya and her sister's speaking ring were captured. Why was the horse listed first? I mean, she's thinking about the horses because there's less of them in Camp Rio.
Yeah, sure.
But it's mostly, she's like, damn, you guys remember when my horse was gone? And nobody else of consequence.
Oh,
wait, actually, maybe my sister.
And my sister, too, such as.
No, it's also such as. We'll figure it out. So, they go into the woods, and as they're gathering the firewood, Little Fawn comes across her again and calls her Magpie again.
Yeah, those girls.
I just think, like, again, it's like we were just talking about. She's just being bullied now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just easy.
She deserves to be bullied at this point, though.
I mean, again, okay, because we're just jumping into it, there's no addressing of, like, oh, Kaya was punished, or, like, Kaya was, like, reprimanded.
People ask Kaya what happened, and she had to explain.
Yeah, like, well, and so this is kind of, like, an imperative part of this story. She carries this secret guilt. So it does seem like it's been kept
But they know what happened.
I think
Or do you think no one knows what happened?
so. I think that she knows that it was her mistake,
Uh-huh.
and because like they were running around in the chaos,
Mhm.
I don't know that anybody
Realizes that she made the error.
she was being selfish and
Okay.
were captured. I kind of get the sense from this book and now like that we've
Looking back.
talked it out too.
Yeah.
It's like, you read the book in your own world and then we come together and
Yeah.
talk. I feel like she has been getting away with being punished because everybody thinks that she was just taken,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I
Right.
think so.
That does seem kind of the vibe because she feels really guilty and wants to tell Swan Circling about it the whole time, which we'll get to. So,
Yeah.
while they're gathering all their stuff in the woods, Running Alone's horse, who's already a little bit kind of like skittish and like Kai's not as familiar with, a falling branch startles her.
Mhm.
So it sends her into a frenzy and she rushes off. Uh-oh. And the baby
Attached.
attached. The baby locked into a little hammock bag on that fucking horse, bouncing around crazy style. And it's fucking crazy.
And they're like, "Baby might get thrown off and die."
Okay, this baby is like the central problem this whole book.
Yeah, baby's the catalyst.
Baby was bad. Okay, we were like,
Light on the water? No,
Okay.
thank you.
water, cute baby. No, thank you. It's over for everybody. So, um, the horse like darts off and goes down, and Kaya notices that near this like little creek bed and like the canyon opening, there's a bunch of like other little young people, and Swan Circling is also a bit.
Mhm.
And basically, Kaya's like, Swan Circling's about to get charged. It's over for her. She's gonna die.
Mhm.
Nuh-uh. Swan Circling, bravest woman alive.
Mhm.
Okay, Swan Circling expertly like stands and she puts her arms out and she stops
Mhm.
the horse in its tracks.
She's a brave woman.
She's a brave woman. It's very cool. So she's like, wow, that's amazing. And Running Alone is like, oh my God. Also, can you talk about the art? The art on this page, you guys, is the horse and the baby is like juxtaposed crazily on the neck.
Oh, it's like jaunty style.
I believe to like make sure that the baby is like in frame as well as
Yes.
all of the
No,
that are
baby
in
is
it.
like attached to horse neck, which also seems hurtful for horse.
Yeah, and
Or
baby is making crazy face. Baby is probably literally shitting himself.
Yeah, probably.
So
Maybe unrelated though.
could be. That's hard to tell, you know? Hard to say. So she's saved, and then Running Alone comes and like collects her baby, and she's like, "Oh my god, my baby, you saved her!" Like, "Oh my gosh, amazing!" And Swan Circling. So
Because Swan's really sober, she just stands there.
yeah, what Swan Circling is just like, hmm. And everyone's like, "I didn't know like women could do that. Did you know
Powerful woman.
women could be brave?" And this is the beginning of Kaya's incredible girl crush that will endure for the remainder of this novel.
I only the smell.
Um,
Unfortunately.
But so while they're all kind of like settling it out, Kaya approaches the horse and is kind of like soothing her,
Yeah.
talking to her quietly to like get her to calm down. And Swan Circling like takes special notice of this and is like, "Wow, you kind of have like a way with the horses, huh? You must have a soft spot." And Kaya's like,
She noticed.
"Oh my god, she noticed me." She probably doesn't know I have a secret deep guilt about something that happened just one book ago.
I'm not worthy.
Uh-oh. Also, so this is I thought was very cute. She has this encounter with Swan Circling. Swan Circling goes off, and she thinks about how the woman she saw in the woods
Look at
so
that.
closely resembled Swan Circling.
Yeah.
So she's like, I hope this is a vision. That means that I am meant to be friends
With Swan
with
Circling.
this woman.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very cute. Also, very little kid.
Yeah.
So she starts to they go back home and Kaya's sitting with other women and girls at the end of like one of the big like long lodges because it's winter. So they have like their winter kind of like homes now set up. So there's all these like tulle mats covering the lodge and everything's very warm inside and cozy. And while they're all working on different crafts, she's tying together like string right on like a necklace, I
Yes, yeah.
think. And her sister is also working on a necklace.
For cut cheek.
You guys, don't worry, there is a side romance.
Yeah, there's a little romance still. We're not done after that courtship dance.
Yeah, baby, romance. I was kind of glad it came back.
Yeah.
I was like,
Also, it's nice to know or interesting to know that it's like, was that just like a crush dance?
I think so. I think it was kind
Okay,
of like
cool.
crush confirmation.
Okay, so it's like, feel free to proceed.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And then, well, because like, I think too, like, if she continues like courting and he like accepts her gift and all that stuff, then like,
And the families have to, like, negotiate.
yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because I figure she might kind of. So we learned that Swan Circling came and joined them 3 years ago when she married in
Mhm.
to like their traveling
Yeah.
part, basically, and like left her family. So I wonder if maybe we'll see in a later book,
What's her husband's name? Like Crooked Necklace or something?
claw necklace.
Claw Necklace.
Claw necklace. Um, there's a lot of names in this book. So she is working on the necklace, and Brown Deer is working on one to give to Cut Cheese.
She was making her hair super shiny.
Yeah.
Talks about how she's, like, doing oil, like, she's a girl's
Like,
girl.
yeah, like a fragrant oil to make it like
Yeah.
long and silky and beautiful.
And Ty's like, "My sister, most beautiful woman in camp."
Yeah, Stell's like, once upon a time, nobody's ever been more beautiful than her.
Yeah, Brown Deer.
Very cute. But yeah, basically when they danced together last time, they'll meet again at the next winter gathering.
Yeah.
So this happened like a year ago now.
Yeah, this is, like, the solstice. Like, solstice time is coming up, basically.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably get more of it in the next book, but this Peek into the Past briefly talks about some of
Yeah.
like the winter traditions, but like the medicine dances and things like that. So I think we're working towards that, and it will probably be in the next book.
I think so too, yeah.
So here's hoping. So all the women are working together, and Kaya is mending Speaking Rain's doll,
Yeah, kind of broken spirit.
which is a little sad.
Hey, we got the doll.
So the doll
Got the Valkyrie
has
doll.
arrived in the book in a really
Cool way.
sad way. And she is just kind of being quiet and nervous. And so she is talking to her grandmother. So she asks Katsua, she's like, "May I ask you a question?"
Mhm.
And she's like, "Yes, of course." And she's like, "Well, actually," she's like, "Ask and I'll decide if I want to answer you." She's being kind of like a
Yeah.
cheeky little lady. The women of this family, kind of cheeky little ladies.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
Also, like, two, like, peas in a pod, these sisters want that goss.
Oh, yeah.
They want anything that can be told to them. So she's like, "That's so funny." And she's like, "I want to know more about Swan Circling. Like, what do you know about her? And how did she get?" She is an eagle feather
Mhm.
that she was gifted
Yeah.
for her valor.
Mhm.
And Kaya, because she has a girl crush, wants to know how Swan Circling got
The eagle feather,
I
yeah.
almost said the flower, the feather. Yeah. And she is told the story. So apparently that did pass the smell check
Yeah.
on question wise. So basically 3 winters ago, she married Swan Circling, married Claw Necklace.
Yeah.
And then as they were leaving her family
Mhm.
to come to join his branch,
Mhm.
they were set up on like a hunting expedition to get like food and things like that.
Yes.
And the men all went out, but then they were attacked. And if you remember in last episode, or if you didn't listen, I'll
Go
give
back.
you the context again.
Yeah.
When the raiders from other nations come in,
Mhm.
they are doing it for different reasons. And in this instance, they were just doing it as like a show of force.
Yeah.
To be
Be like, "We're tough guys."
ugh, bazunga. Gotcha. So they're under siege, they're under attack, and Chronicles is so caught up in the hubbub in
Yeah.
the race to catch these guys and like show them what's good that he leaves his weapons
Yep.
behind.
Yeah, he's too eager but not smart,
So
apparently.
he leaves his bow and arrow back at in the tent. And she like shoots into action, and she like grabs his bow and arrow quiver and like runs out, and there's like arrows flying by her, and she's dodging them, and
But she's so brave.
she's so brave, and she works through the fuss, and he sees her approaching, and she gives him his weapons, and then they're fine.
So she's a brave gal.
She's a brave gal, and she's so cool. She's a baddie. And so Kaya's basically like, "Wow, I can't believe a woman told you guys this and bragged about herself. I too would like to do that. That seems cool."
I was like, "This seems like the type of woman I could be one day, perhaps."
Yeah, she's like, "That could be cool." And Katsua's like, "Okay, though that's not what happened." She was like, a brave, proud woman, like Swan Circling would never brag about herself.
Yeah.
Her husband had to tell tale of her
Oh, wait,
bravery.
king.
I was like, "Okay,
Okay, claw necklace.
her,
Feminist.
we love our wife."
Yeah.
We're like, "Oh, our bad
wife guy?
wife? Oh, wife, local wife guy?" Oh my god. I was like, yes, this is
Yeah.
as it was meant to be.
We don't know much about him, but I like him.
No,
He
exactly.
seems like a
Everything I know about him, I like.
he seems like a husband comfortable with a woman who takes charge, you know?
Oh, 100%. He was like, "Oh, my warrior wife?" Yeah.
Watch her go.
But you guys are jealous.
Yeah.
Hmm. So it's cute. And then when they all went back to camp, she was then awarded her eagle feather,
Mhm.
for her show of bravery.
And it's very cool, and the one thing I didn't like about this, which I'm sure you're gonna get to, but since you're taking a little sippy, I'll just, like, jump into it, is Kaya's like, "She's so cool, I bet, like, everything is great for her." And then Grandma's like, "Not everything, she doesn't have a kid, and the only way a woman can mean anything to society is if she has a kid." And I was like, "Huh?"
Okay, it's especially crazy because of the way that this book ends
Yeah.
for, like, the things that she does.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe she doesn't want a kid.
well, and, like,
Also crazy to have fertility issues in a children's book
well,
underratedly.
I know, and, like, the grandmother kinda doubles it down too and is like, "Well, they still have time." Like, thank goodness, like,
They're
there is
young,
still time. They're young
but
and they're spry, but
TikTok
TikTok, where are the
3
children?
3 winters already and no kids.
3 winters have passed.
There's a lot of shaming, and I was like, "Hmm." As childless women, I thought you would feel similarly with this line of dialogue.
I think it's tough because I think we're getting a romance narrative with Brandier too.
Yeah.
Because Kaya is still pretty young, so she's still maybe learning stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, Brandier and look, you know what? Much like you said in the last episode, hey, you guys don't need to get in the comments and tell me that like this is like what the cultural norm was of the time.
Yeah,
Like, we know.
we know.
We're modern women though.
And you're listening to this to hear us, yeah.
And you're listening to us to hear our opinions.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a little it's just so irrelevant.
It does it's just one of those things that, like, yeah, because it is of the time, it feels so, like, tiresome to, like, have the narrative be, like which is the narrative that women have faced forever, be like, "This woman has done so much, but she is still incomplete because she hasn't had a
There's no
child."
child.
Yeah.
It would be the same thing, honestly, if there was like if she wasn't married and was like a bold woman. And it
Yeah.
was like, well, she doesn't have a husband yet.
It's just it is even still, like, to go on just the briefest of diatribe.
No, of course.
It is still one of those
We hate
things.
to do that.
Yeah, and we never do that. It is just one of those things that it's so interesting that for so long, this has been the narrative for women that it's like your greatest achievements are like a good wedding and like bearing children, where it's like even in today's society, which has moved beyond that, like you only get parties to celebrate yourself if you get like married or engaged or like have a kid. And like, oh yeah, I got like a master's degree and like we didn't throw like a party.
Right.
Like if
Or that
I
you have to decide that like you'll put in the effort for it because there's other parties that people will help facilitate for you.
Well, it's just funny that I could buy a house by myself. I
Mhm.
can't, but in theory, I could buy a
In
house.
theory, I could own a home.
Yeah, and I like people wouldn't like help me like buy things for the house, but if I had a man involved and we were just gonna get married, people would buy me stuff for the house. Like, is
Well,
that weird?
yes, I was very recently talking about like the idea of like an engagement party and a bridal shower
Yeah,
and a bachelorette party and because one of my friends just
a
went
wedding.
one of my friends just went to a wedding where I think there was like 2 or 3 other like lead-in events that were also like kind of high ticket price buy-ins to
Yeah,
participate, and I was like, "It really is an incredible, like,
scam.
industrial scam, huh?"
Yeah,
Like, I get it.
yeah,
But yes, to your point, it does become like and I know some people don't wanna hear it, but it is like, well, at the end of the day, like, why am I only interesting to some people
yeah,
when, like, I'm having a child or I'm getting married?
yeah. Well, I just want to go back to like that book, which wasn't talking about bachelorette parties, but
Right, but
But it is just, like, the idea that, like, they're talking about how Speaking Rain is, like not Speaking Rain, she's gone.
Swan Circling.
Swan Circling is, like, a exceptional woman.
Yeah.
She is strong, she is fierce, she is helpful,
Yes.
but, like, we are sad for her because she doesn't have a child. And there's never once actually in the book when Kaya is talking to Swan Circling that Swan Circling mentions that she wants a child or that she's sad she doesn't have a child. Like, I thought she was going to say something in one of their talks about, like, her future hoping to, like, have a child, and she doesn't.
There's no payoff. Again,
Yeah.
there's no payoff, and I think that's the disappointing part about it because it actually would have maybe been more interesting to have Swan Circling be like, "I can't well, you wouldn't necessarily know, but,
Yeah.
like, the way in which, like I mean, we knew what infertility was even back then, we just had different ways of talking about it.
Yeah.
So it does kind of feel like
I mean, I guess the reason they mention it, I think, is so that it's like, spoiler alert, when Swan Circling gives her the ultimate gift, it's because she has no child to give it to,
oh, yes,
you know?
very
So,
yeah, it's very moving. But,
anyway, that's Caroline and Celia's feminist corner.
yeah, sorry, we know some of you guys have kids. We promise it's not about you
It's
guys.
not about you. Your greatest achievement can be your children, or it can be anything else you've done. That's up to you.
And that's motherhood. We love you and we're rooting for you.
Go moms.
Go moms. Um, okay, so then, yes, we have that weird encounter, and Katsua does say, like, though, after that weird remark, she does double back to be like, "By the way, I think it's very lovely that you are mending your sister's doll."
Yeah.
Um,
Your sister you lost.
but basically, like, there's no update. Like,
Yeah, we have no idea where
we really don't.
Diana is. She is, in a new tribe.
Yeah. And then we have this really weird kind of end point to this chapter
Yep.
that I'm saying it's weird because it feels like a very stilted way to end it. But basically, they're all talking, and Little Fawn comes like back, and she is like limping with this like basket she's carrying.
Mhm.
And Kaya's like, "Are you okay? Like, what happened?" And she's like, "Maybe you climbed too high and like broke a branch." And she's like, "No, I've jumped out of trees much higher than that. Bleh, bleh, bleh. I hate you. You suck." And Kaya's like, "Okay, well, that's kind of rude." And then they're looking at horses.
Yeah.
And then Kaya brings up her fucking horse again, and she's like, "This one reminds me of steps ha."
Our American girls who love horses can't stop talking about their horses.
I shouldn't be bringing it up. Um, and then, she comes back to the water, and because, like, there's all these little other girls who are, like, drawing, like, images too, like, in
Mhm.
the sand, and Swan Circling is also there, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, hi." And then they talk about horses, and then Swan Circling's like, "You know, someday, like, there will be time, like, for you to, like, get another horse, and by the way, like, how's that little boy doing?"
Mhm.
I'm saying it's, like, a weird end because it just keeps going.
Yeah, it's like it's just long.
It's a long conversation, so, but Swan Circling's like, "Well, he'll have to be patient, but he seems like he's grumpy," and Kaya's like, "Yeah, he doesn't really."
2 Ops is not adjusting yet.
No.
He's eager to get home, and he can't get home till the snow melts.
And
And it's
his
like
foot's fucked.
November. It's like December,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be a while. Yeah, and his
He's
ankle's broken.
gonna have to hunker down and
He doesn't want to.
enjoy some festivities, but he doesn't want to. And, then what happens is Little Fawn yells at Kaya again and calls her magpie again because earlier in the book, she's like, "Oh, little magpie is like flown over to come be with us. Is she allowed?" And then here it's like, "Oh, little like magpie has like flown back into the nest and like
Yeah.
she's back home now." And like Swan Circling clocks
The
that Kaya
nickname.
is getting called a mean nickname. And she's like, "Is that your nickname?" And Kai's like, "They call me that sometimes." And then Swan Circling is like a very good, like kind of big older sister,
Mhm.
maternal
A little bit, yeah.
figure. And she's like, "Well, sometimes like people give us nicknames that have like claws attached to them
Yeah.
because they're like hoping to like hurt us."
Yeah.
And Kaya is kind of like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, blah, blah, blah." Because she's like, "Well, remember that, right?" And Kaya's like, "Yeah, anyway, cop." I thought you were cool, but it seems like you're trying to give me advice now, so, like any child, I'm gonna decide not to
I'm gonna shut down.
I'm gonna shut down emotionally, because then she, like, goes into her mind palace to, like, crash out about how she's like, "Well, if Swan Circling know the truth, like, she gave me good advice, but if she knew the truth about how bad and selfish and evil I am, she wouldn't like me very much at all, huh?"
Mm-mm.
That's the end of chapter 1.
Really weirdly long chapter.
And again, like
And the other ones were pretty short.
yes, they
Yeah.
are, because the last 3 chapters of this book,
A lot
which are
happens.
of the 4,
Yeah.
a lot happens, but, like, move pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, alright, chapter 2, Lessons from a Basket.
I like the little picture of, 2 Hawks here. He looks like a little gremlin.
Yeah, so the first little illustration
The, like, vignette it's not even, like, a full picture, it's one of the vignette illustrations.
yeah, he's, like, huddled up, like, squatted up, and he looks
Yeah, he looks
damp as fuck and fussy,
Yeah, he is fussy.
and his little toes are peeking out in his moccasins.
Yeah, with his little broken
It's
ankle.
very cute.
Yeah.
So he's sitting outside the lodge moping, and Kaya comes to find him, and she's like, "You should like cheer up, like it'll help your healing speed along." And he's basically like, "Well, what good is that?
Yeah.
Like, this sucks and I hate it." And she's like, "Well, we could go riding together." And he's like, "Can we? Can we go riding together?" And she's like, "Okay, I'm not really like sure what's going
He's
on."
so angry, and I get it, but he is just kind of like a curmudgeonly I, like, don't like him yet.
I don't like him yet either. The thing that bothered me about him is like I don't understand the animosity. Like, it's almost like I wish there'd been some sort of catalyst for them disliking each other more.
He just feel I mean, he's obviously a traumatized child who was taken captive, so I think mayhaps we're being harsh on him. But it just does feel like he is now acting like he's prisoner here, and they are not holding him prisoner. They're healing and trying to help him.
They're feeding him, they're clothing him. He
Yeah.
has a safe roof over his head, and they've all made it clear that, like,
They're going to return him to his tribe
and
when they can.
yes, and he's not doing like chore against his
Yeah.
will. So I agree. He
Yeah.
he has not won us over.
No.
So she insists, she's like, "No, no, like, let's go on a ride. You can't just sit there, like, it'll make you feel better." And so, in a very cute way, she, like, basically just shoves him up on her
Yeah,
horse.
she's like, "He doesn't think I can lift him? Like, let me hoist this man.
Yeah, and he's like
Strong girl."
she's like, "Here you go." And she basically, like,
Scoops
boosts
him.
him
Yeah.
because he's little,
Yeah.
it seems. Like,
He's
from
so scrawny,
he's
yeah.
so scrawny, and he hasn't been there that long, so he has
Yeah.
not, like, recouped his
No.
strength or anything. So she does get him up on the horse, and then, she, like, looks at him, and he looks, like, happy to be up on the
I'm sure
horse.
he is because he can move around now. I think
Yeah.
he's just been sitting, so
So she gets, like, a sense of, like, self-satisfaction that, like,
she
she could
helped
give him
him.
that.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Now we need to go make you a flute."
Mhm.
Guys, the flute B plot is present through every chapter in this book,
It's kinda fun.
and it's so
Let me go check in with that flute
I'm
situation again.
I was like, "Is this relevant?"
No.
I mean, they're definitely friendship plot developing.
Yes. And there's running like, the guy who's helping him, who's that?
Um,
It's not Running Alone,
that's the aunt. Yes, I don't think I ever wrote down
it's
his
okay.
name, to be honest with you.
He has,
I
like,
know who you're talking Runs Home.
runs home.
Runs Home. I
Running
did write it down. I was like, "Let me skip ahead." I was like, "I'm actually pretty sure
Alone.
there is another one." Yes.
This is
Okay.
where the names get confused.
Yeah, sorry guys. And again, like, as is often when I cover the books that are vibe 90%, I do lose, like, a little bit of track of, like, where in the book we
We'll
are.
get to everything, we'll just
We'll
come out
cover
order.
everything. So, okay. So, later on,
Yeah.
we get a little, like, divider. So we're on to the next thing and the next day,
Yeah.
literally. So it's gotten colder, the camp is, like, chilly,
Mhm.
there's, like, a sharp wind, like, cutting through everybody, and Kaya's just kind of like, "Ooh, let's go for a morning swim."
Yeah, bath time.
So they all go for their morning swim, they're all freezing, and they're, like, rushing to get, like, into their warm clothes, and then they go back to the lodge, and she's thinking about how soon and this doesn't happen in this book, by the way, you guys, but I'm gonna just tell you that it's
Yeah.
coming. We've already addressed it. But she's thinking about how pretty soon, basically, like, everybody else, it kinda seems like satellite group-wise,
Mhm.
is gonna come convene with
Yeah.
them for, like, a big wintertime celebration.
Mhm.
And there will be, like, exchangings of gifts. It starts in this book, but I
Yeah.
think it's gonna culminate in the
I
next.
think it starts like I think basically the celebration season starts with the winter solstice, which happens in this book.
Yeah.
So she says it's the shortest day of the year.
Yeah,
But I think that, like, sets off, like
the rest of it.
yes.
Yeah. So the women are putting up another lodge
Yep.
today too. So
Lodge time.
one big enough for everybody.
Yeah, they're huge. In the Peking the Cat
Yes.
says they're, like, 200 yards, which is 2 football fields.
Well, I was just gonna say, but then we kind of talked about it last time. There are recreation ones in Minnesota that you can visit.
Should go.
They're fucking insane.
Yeah, I wanna go see
We
it.
would go on them like the
They're
cultural
probably so
kits.
cozy inside with the
I
fire.
think I went during the summer, so
Yeah.
I've never experienced. But yes, I am at like you know I love like
A little
a
den.
little lodge, a little den.
We got
He's
almost
lit
anniversary of
for it.
our
Don't
burrowing.
remind me. I need to find a we gotta find a way to get back
We
there.
gotta
Let
get
us
that
in.
barn.
Let it put us in there. Just one night only.
Yeah,
That's all I need.
we don't care.
The
Wedding
barn I
goes
got
on
why is
better
so
for us.
yeah. let us in. We're the added benefits. Yeah, you pay for this house and you get 2 women.
Let me sleep in that barn.
Let me sleep in that barn. I'll keep the barn safe. Put me in, coach. Anyway, if you guys are real listeners, you guys
You know what
more
we're
about our
talking
barn. We've definitely talked about it at least 3 to 5 times.
Talked about the barn and then the we have to go back to Bangers and get that Snickers ice cream dessert again.
Somebody told me you can only get 1 mimosa per person, and I
That's
was
not
like, "That's
true.
not true." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "That's absolutely not
I've
true."
got like 3.
You can't get 2 at a time,
Yeah.
but you can definitely get more than 1.
I feel like last time we were there, we had at least 2.
Yes. Alexis ordered like 3 on her tab.
Yeah, and they kept accidentally bringing more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Hello?"
Ugh, Bangers, guys. Big
Anyway,
bar.
you guys, if yours are in Austin, if you would like to see the dying remnants of a street that was once booming, but a beautiful, beautiful, very cool beer venue that still has
So it's still good.
people there,
It's kind of haunting.
go to Bangers. The problem with Rainy is just that it's dying. Anyway,
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
yeah,
The death of Rainy.
The death of Rainy Street. That's her other sub podcast. Our deep dive. So we're all putting it together, and then the logic gets finished, and then Kaya, because she's a girl crush, follows Swan Circling to wherever she's going.
Yeah.
And she's like, I just want to like know more what she's up to. So she goes to a lodge where they're preparing a bunch of food. So they're like grinding up berries and like processing grains, and they're like getting all these different things ready to have like great big feasts and
Yeah.
everything. And Itza, so her mom, and Running Alone are in there preparing things and
Like
getting
more
ready.
mash.
And she's like helping with like the mortar and pestle and
Yeah.
grinding it all up. So finally, Running Alone is like, would you go get my baby like a little dried piece of
Meat to chew on.
to chew on? And Kaya's like, I sure would. Oh, because she's getting a tooth in.
Kaya's such a baby girl.
She loves the baby.
She's like, look at it's like me and dogs.
Yes.
Everything
Very much.
everything this baby does, Kaya's like, look at how perfect she is. Look at that face. Look at
Kaya's like,
this.
wow, a woman's purpose really is to be a mother. And I'm learning that right now. So she does go get the meat and she gives it the baby, and then they're all oohing and eyeing, and like the baby's very happy. She's like making like a merry little face, and it's so cute. And Swan Circling comes back. And then we do bring up the fucking Swan Circling not having a baby plot.
Yeah, again.
Because Kaya feels guilty that she's like, oh, do you think Swan Circling feels bad because
Because I love this baby so
I
much.
love this baby so much, and she doesn't have one?
Yeah. She definitely
No,
does.
she probably feels like bad that she is nobody
To coo over.
to coo over.
Yeah.
And Swan Circling is like, hey, like I saw you guys in the morning. Like I thought, like when I was younger, do you like swimming? And then they just like go off and they have like a cute little conversation.
I know Swan Circling is very sweet to Kaya, I think. She knows that Kaya's like locked in on her, and so she's like putting an effort to talk to Kaya
Yes,
and like
it's very charming.
be around.
Well, and like Kaya literally thinks that she's like nobody, like no adult has asked me so many questions. Like
Yeah.
nobody has actually tried to get to know me
Which
or the way I
always
feel.
feels special when you're a kid. I think when you meet that like first adult who like seems interested in the things that you're interested
Yeah.
your perspective. You
I
know?
think sometimes like kids, some of my friends, younger kids that I've met, or well, now they're like teenagers. I think you're being like now. I think the younger generation thinks this way. So it's charming to read this, but like that you're being disingenuous, that like you don't mean like that you're curious about
Yeah.
them. And I'm like, no, I think it's so interesting. Like, what do you like? What are you into? Like, tell me. Like, I am curious.
I don't want to like pat myself on the back with this, but I'll just say like I think like I have been told like from friends and stuff that like I get along really well with kids. And I think it's because like I always try and talk to kids like they're just people. And like I like will like rib kids, or I will like not like I will like kind of tease kids and like talk with them and like listen to them and like ask actual follow-up questions. And I think like a lot of times kids, not that they like sense it like that, like adults are like just like talking them to talk to them, but I don't think they sense it in that way, but I think they do sense when they feel like an adult is actually interested in like what they have to say.
Yes.
Like because I do that because my godmother growing up, who's kind of like Swan Circling, who has since passed, like she would do that. Like she would come talk to you and be like I remember there was like silly moments where it's like I would be like I would come up with an idea where she'd say that she has like a headache, right? And I'd be like, "Oh, like, we should invent something that can, like, cure headaches." And I'm, like, 7 or
Yeah.
something. And she goes, "Oh, what do you think that would look like?"
Right.
And I'm like, "We like," and so then she, like,
We can
helps me
use it.
design it. And
Yeah.
it's like it was, like, one of those things where I felt like what I said mattered to her.
Yes.
And I think that's the thing is I think a lot of kids are used to talking to parents and stuff like, "How was school? How was this?" But I think when you feel like your words actually matter is when you, like, feel like there's a special adult, you know?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
and I think everyone has had that experience with, like, an aunt or, like, a family friend or, like, just, like, a teacher even where it feels like, the first time you feel like, "Oh, people actually care about my opinion," you know?
Well, I think you're to your point, talking to kids like they're already adults.
Mhm.
Like, I think people underestimate the intelligence of younger
Yeah, I
people
agree.
to some degree.
Mhm.
And so I think there is a way you kind of get in with
Yeah.
like you get to be a cool adult is
Yeah.
by being like, well, you guys are hip, so like,
You know what I'm
what's
talking
that?
about,
Like,
yeah.
oh, so like, what do you guys think is cool now? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not cool anymore. So like, what's good?
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
and then they're like, oh, well,
and that
let's tell you.
yeah, that's what Swan Circling's doing.
That's how I talk to my interns, and they're
Exactly.
only 5 years
What's
younger
the
than me.
happy apps, kiddos?
Yeah, low key, I'm like, well, I'm just like chopped now, right, kids? So
You're
like,
unk.
no, I'm not unk because they think I'm hot, but
Okay.
I'm definitely they think I'm too smart to be.
Unk.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I am chopped in that like I can't keep up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
So anyway, um,
If you don't know any of the words we just said,
us either.
get on TikTok.
Barely do. Um, anyway, so they talk. She loves Swan Circling. Swan Circling's being very kind to her.
Yeah.
They exchange some different thoughts. And then I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I'm not gonna go super deep into the next thing that happens, but Catspaw tells them a story about basket weaving to tell them the moral of the story.
This was funny because then someone is like, "Tell us another story," and I was like, "No."
No. So basically there's a cedar tree and it's basically like the giving tree and you need to be gratitude and you need to show up and work for other people. That's the moral of the lesson. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was kind of eyes glazed over when I read this part of the book. So I'm just going to be completely honest with you. She tells a story to teach them a moral lesson
Yeah.
and that's fine. And then the cute part about this sequence is that Kaya ends up helping a younger girl
Mhm.
with her basket that she's making. Although it is not a pure of heart intention, she's hoping that Swan Circling will see that she is helping this other girl with her basket
Which
and
is
then think
relatable.
highly of her. Oh, 100%. Especially when you're like, as both we were, a sensitive young child
Yes.
who is looking to be like praised.
Yes.
You are constantly looking for outlets through which to receive praise,
Oh, yeah.
even if it is like, wow, good job helping the kids out today.
You're just, like, looking over as you're building this basket, like,
You're like, oh,
moving over slightly to,
yeah,
like
100%. You're like, oh, over here. So, that's not the end of the chapter, but that is the end of that
Yeah.
sequence. Then the next morning, Kaya is invited by Swan Circling to help her with her work and stuff. And
Yeah.
so while they're doing that, she ends up showing Kaya the first basket that she ever made, which is like a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's all wonky.
It's wonky and it's embarrassing. And Kaya's like, why are you showing me this?
Mhm.
And Swan Circling, because she's childless and sad
Mhm.
and imprinting on Kaya, she's like, um, well, like, it was ugly and it was sad and it was lumpy and lopsided, but I wanted to give it to Catspaw anyway.
Mhm.
And isn't that like so special? Like,
Mhm.
I still got to like learn patience and like that it was worth it to make it anyway. And it taught her patience and humility
Yeah.
because she gave her such a fuck ass basket.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Kaya? Did you learn a lesson?
Patience and humility.
She doesn't.
Not totally, not yet.
So then finally Kaya uh, thinks about the concept of revealing
Her
the story
creative
behind your
shame.
nickname,
Yeah.
but she doesn't.
Yeah. She, like and, like, Swan Circling knows something's up because Kaya's like, "I wanna tell you something."
And she cuts herself off. She's like, yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah?" And she's like,
She's like,
"I
what is
made
it?
a really bad basket once too." And she goes, "Are you sure that's what you wanna tell me? Because 'Cause you're, like,
Seems
screaming,
like,
crying, throwing up."
yeah, seems like you're like really upset. But she, is keen. So
Mhm.
she lets it alone. And she's like, is something troubling you? There's a crease in like your brow.
Yeah.
And then Kai's like, no. Anyway, here's your basket back. Thanks for the lesson. And then so Swan Circling's just like, well, maybe we've done enough talking for now. So
Yeah. Kind of
They
sad.
go back to the lodge and they go to the end of the chapter. That's it.
They go to the end of the chapter.
Okay, guys.
This is where everything changes.
Chapter 3, Sick Baby. Okay, in case you guys don't understand, a sick baby is about to enter the chat.
Light on the water, sick on the water.
So an indeterminate amount of time passes.
Yes.
Seems like maybe like a couple days to like a week
Yeah.
in time. There's been a little bit more snowfall, and Kaya is doing sweeping chore of getting snow away from the lodge.
Yes.
And while she is doing that, she hears this weird little toot 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 of a whistle, of a flute rather, in the distance, and she's like, "That's interesting." And she's like, "I wonder if Two Hawks finished his flute.
Yeah.
Time to go investigate and stop doing my job."
Yep.
So classic Kaya. She does go off to the side and then runs home. Is here. This is why I wrote his name down.
Nice.
And she is like, "Wow, good job. It's almost there." But basically, like,
Runs home has a better whistle.
Runs home has a way cooler whistle and he's better at using it. And Two Hawks is like, kind of,
They're like comparing whistles, and Runs home kind of tells him like your reed is like your hole here is too small, and like the like shaft needs to be bigger. And
yes.
Two Ox is like, well, fuck this.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm mad. I'm angry. Yours is way cooler and this sucks."
And then Runstone's like, can you help
bitter.
him like find more, and I'll help him like build it.
Yeah.
Runtime is really trying to help.
I know. Runs home too good for his own.
Yeah.
For his own.
He's like, not much is said, but he's like undetermined to help this kid out.
Well, he's just like, "Can you just go find another one? It'll be good. If you can get it, I'll make him one that works."
Yeah, he's like, I'll teach him how to make a better one.
And Kaya's like, "See, look, like, great. Everybody likes you and is helping you."
And he's like, ugh.
Two Hawks is like, "Ew, stinky. I hate everybody and everything sucks." That's the end of that sequence.
Yep. So she leaves.
So she leaves. Okay. So then the next sequence that happens is Kaya and Brown Deer are hanging out in their house and they're helping Akatsua like wrap up like some gifts and cakes and stuff for the people who are about to arrive. And then a great bunch of the winter visitors. So all these other people, including Kachi,
Hot man alert back.
are coming into town and coming into the camp. They're exchanging gifts and there's all this like great merriment and like food enjoying and all this stuff. And you guys, it's so dazzling the way it's described because Kaya clocks that she sees Cut Cheek and then she looks over to her teepee where it says that like Brown Deer's face is like burning.
Yeah.
And that like they make eye contact, Brown Deer and Cut Cheek, and something electric like shoots through the air between them. I'm not making that. You guys know we're dramatic. Love like
we love an
over
we love a
dramatization.
Papatia X.
We love to ramp up the dramatics of what on page happened to, you know, how we interpreted it in our
The
souls.
Eggman coming.
Yeah. However, that is literally on page how it's being talked about.
No, it's crazy.
But we don't actually see them like come together.
No, we just get like a glimpse. It's like,
There's
stay
just
tuned, kids.
some electric tension
Oh yeah.
in the air. And Kaya's like, "I hope that she'll give him the necklace that she's still working on." And she's like, "If we're lucky, someday soon, Kachik will be wearing Brown Deer's necklace." And I was like, "That's so county." I was like, "Yeah, I like that." So they're having a very cozy little holiday season. But you guys, Kaya's aunt, a different one from a different village.
Whose name we don't even get.
No.
Just like this random aunt.
Yeah, my other aunt. She shows up and basically they are like, "Any news of like the other girl?"
Nope.
Basically. Nope, there's nothing there and it's useless. They're like, "Have your scouts seen anything?" Because I think they're closer to the territory.
They're closer to the trail.
Yeah.
Where everything converges. But
But nothing.
Nothing.
Not a whisper on the wind.
Niente.
And this does sadden Kaya quite a bit. She's pretty bummer citied about it. And so during the New Year's ceremony, Kaya spends all this time kind of like ruminating on like the past year and everything that's happened and everything she's lost. And she, you know, as she should, praise for courage and to like be more honest.
Yeah, and to be less flighty.
Yes, less like a magpie.
She can't lose any more family members to her own whims and fancies.
Correct. And she's praying to Hunyawat, which is
the hunter god, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like big god that they're like asking for to like look after them and like thanking him for all the gifts that like he's given them over the years. And then all of like the different people who have gathered are sharing like stories of like what has happened with them and things that they are grateful for and like good harvests and good hunting and all this stuff. It's great. They're singing prayer songs. Honestly, seems like a really good
Vibes.
time.
Yeah, good times.
Vibes. Now, after a while of all of this partying, Running Alone is like, "Can you please come watch my baby, Kaya?"
She's so sick.
She's so, so sick. And there's like beads of sweat on this tiny little baby. Also, the art is really funny
Yeah.
because the baby's like in
Eh.
this like hanging little bassinet
Yeah.
thing
So
made out
cute.
of like deer skin, I think.
Yeah.
But the art cuts off, so it just looks like the baby's like levitating. But the baby's unwell.
Yeah, baby is, like, unfocused, delirious,
She's not
but
breathing right.
yeah.
And Kaya's like, this seems bad. And basically, she's like, I need to go find Bear Blanket, who's the medicine woman. And I need to ask Bear Blanket to like come up with a remedy.
Yeah.
So while I go do that, can you watch the child?
Mhm.
And Kaya's like, okay. And she puts her hand on the baby and she's like, oh my gosh, like you're super sick. Hopefully, like there will be help. So then Bear
She does
Blanket.
briefly, like, wonder, she's like, "Is this the white man's curse?"
Yes, it is, it's very funny here a little bit because it is just, like, it's very intense, and then Kai's like, "Wow, I hope, like, it doesn't get her.
Yeah. She's like, "Hope this baby
Hope
survives."
this baby's okay." So Bear Blanket shows up, and she's this very old, like, wizened medicine woman. She's got, like, gray hair streaking through, like, her braids, and she kinda stands up, like, straight as an arrow, very intense,
Mhm.
powerful woman, and Kaya is like, "Ugh, I'm about to see
Love a healer.
something crazy
Yeah.
happen." Oh, our girls love a healer.
We love a woman who heals.
Our American girls love to heal. So, Bear Blanket looks at the baby and is like, "Okay, I have concluded that we need a special remedy here. But in order to do that, somebody has to go and collect
A very rare type of bark.
a very specific type of bark for me to make the remedy that is needed."
Yeah, like a bark stew.
So, also she's singing while
Mm.
she's like healing, which
Yeah.
also very cool. It's very cool. And the art here is very beautiful.
Yeah, that's a better art.
She's like leaned over the baby and you can kind of see like her face, like near the baby's face. And Kaya and Running Alone are standing in like the background of it. Anyway, it's a very beautiful piece of art. So Bear Blanket draws Swan Circling, who's been nearby, like to the side and is like, "You're gonna have to go procure this for me."
Like, ASAP.
Like ASAP, you're a strong horsewoman, you're
Yeah.
a brave woman, and I believe that you'll be like the one who can do
The girl
this.
for the job.
Be the girl for the job. And she's like, okay, yep, I will do that. It's the inner tree of this, like the inner side of this bark that
Yeah.
needs to be like boiled. And so she goes Running Alone and she's like, I'm gonna go get my horse. I'm gonna go get this.
Mhm.
And Running Alone is like, but it's super cold. Like the wind is really bad.
Yeah.
Like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Childless woman who has nothing to lose. And she's like, I can't wait. Like your baby needs the medicine now because she yearns for a child and has nothing to give
Yeah.
her. So, basically, Kaya is given the responsibility to help set up the horse.
Yes.
So Kaya goes and she gets all the supplies. She gets like a deer skin bag. She gets like all of it, the saddlery and everything that needs to be
Mhm.
put together for Swan Circling to be ready to go off on this adventure. So she helps like basically tack the horse and everything, which is
Mhm.
very cool. And the horse has a very iconic white face.
Yeah, it's a very pretty horse.
This is unfortunately important for what's about to come.
Yeah.
Um, Also, she has like this very beautiful saddle, like this
Yeah,
ornate Brittany saddle. It's also on the cover of the book. If
Mhm.
you guys want to look it up and see what it looks like, if you're not watching us on YouTube.
Yeah.
But they put like the saddle on, and Kaya is like nervous, and she's very intense and intentional about like making sure it's tied really tight and really quick because
They're running fast.
Swan Circle is like, I'm gonna have to bolt. Like,
So it gotta be tight.
there can't be any risk of like things going wrong. So she's like, okay. And Kaya's like, I'll watch after you. And Swan Circle,
And she's like, "I'll be back by by daybreak."
yes, like,
So, like,
watch for me.
and she's like, "I'll watch for you," but then the wind is blowing, so she's like, "I don't think she heard me."
So Swan Circling is off. And Kaya is back inside while Bear Blanket sings more medicine songs, and they just kind of like try to basically bide the time and heal what they can while they wait.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the night goes cold and
Mhm.
goes long and gets intense, and Kaya waits very, very anxiously until the next what's not the next day, that night.
No, it's that night, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, she gets really worried. She's like, "Is she coming back? I don't know." She sees like a hawk like turning in slow circles. Everything is really quiet.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden she does see a horse appear on the horizon.
She's like, "Oh, phew."
Oh my gosh. And it has the iconic white face.
So it's Swan Circling's horse.
But uh-oh, there is no rider on that horse.
Uh-oh. But there is a
And
bark
it
in
is
the bag.
limping. Chapter 4. Gifts from Swan Circling.
At this point, I was like, "Oh, again, a spoiler in the chapter. She's fine."
Yep. So you guys, Claw Necklace, Man of the Year.
Husband of the
Oh, go ahead.
is it husband of the tribe.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He is immediately springing into action. Him and Tota and some of the other men are gathered and rallied, and they're already riding out to
Yeah.
go find where she is. Because even though she didn't come back, when they check inside the saddlebag,
She has the barb.
she has completed the fetch quest.
Yeah. So we're already boiling that bark and giving it to that baby.
We are boiling that bark.
Yeah.
So Bear Blanket gets to work. She makes the remedy. She's feeding the baby, and basically, like immediately,
Well, it's also funny too, because
him.
kind of Kaya is like, "Is this the white man's curse? Will the baby die?" And Bear Blanket is like, "No, actually, this is just a cold."
Bear Blanket has been like, yes, I'm gonna fix this all. I'm gonna freak it crazy style. By the way, it was never that intense.
Think it's
And
just
this
stop.
was
We think
always
it's need
gonna
to
be
stop
fine.
coughing.
And I'm like, hey, so why'd we act like this was a life or death mission that might have
Doesn't
resulted
feel
like
like it
a
now, does it?
no, she really kind of downplays it once the soup is made. And I was like, oh, okay.
She's like, "It's gonna just
Feels like a
chest
crazy
congestion."
undercurrent for what's happening. So she makes it. Yeah, oh yeah. Does the baby have the bad sickness that kills? No, she has a weakness in her chest. Sure. Okay,
A
so
whooping cough.
it's crazy. So, Kaya watches her give the baby the remedy, and then she goes off to kind of like pace anxiously in the center of camp and wait for news from everything. She goes to bed, she sleeps restlessly. The next morning at dawn, the men have returned.
Mhm.
Claw Necklace in particular, he is walking through camp very solemnly, and he's carrying something. She can't tell at first what he's carrying. But then it strikes her that the form in his arms is Swan Circling's body.
Ugh. This is crazy. I literally was reading this and I was like, "Oh my god."
It's pretty harrowing. I really was kind of
You weren't expecting it?
no.
Neither was I.
And Loki, so well, I'll tell you all, and Caroline already knows. Even the way that they talk about how she died
I know.
is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Again, for a truly a kid's book. If it was anything
tragic.
else, I would feel different.
Yeah.
It's very tragic. So, he brings her body into camp. Everybody is like very like distraught and shocked and like confused. And she goes over Kaya to her father, and it turns out that like or no, her grandmother knows.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm mixing them up. Katz was like, it seems that the men have found her. She was already like dead when they found her. Um, it's that her body was beside the stream. It seems like her horse like tried to cross the stream, broke through thin ice, and in that action, it like threw her
It's
off
spooked and like, yeah.
and it stumbled and then smacked her head into a rock.
And so she died like
And she
blunt
was
force trauma.
thrown off and the blow killed her. Hopefully that doesn't traumatize you, Kaya, to think about.
Did Kaya put the saddle on well enough?
Okay, low key, I have to be honest with you, Caroline. Maybe it was just a mercy. I kind of thought what was gonna happen was that she was irresponsible again, didn't tie something right, and that she got thrown off the horse. Sucks. I'm not kidding. I literally was like, well, at this point, like, let's just go full duck. Like,
Oh my
the
god.
saddle came loose and it fell off and she drowned.
think it might have happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was like the original draft, and they were like, "That's like a little too
It's a little too
insane for a
like,
children's." They're
they
like,
can't crawl her back in the last 3 books
yeah,
of that
they're like, "I
happening.
can't do that." So it's really sad.
She's dead.
She's dead.
No more
Um,
Swan Circling.
and Katz was like, "Well, she was full of light and love. It's hard to let her go, but time to let her spirit journey on."
And then we do get very interesting which I know is why
Yeah,
they kinda did this, was to show the
burial.
burial
They
the
don't
burial
they
rite
talk about it.
of, like, the tribe, which is really interesting to
It
see.
was super interesting.
So I'm glad we got it, but I was kinda, like, mortified.
Well, and I have to be honest with you, I know I talked about it last episode, but after reading this sequence, I was excited for the peek into the past because I thought it was going to be more about this,
Nope.
and it's not,
Nope.
and it bothered me.
Yep. The glutton.
We'll get to it. So Kaya's like really in a daze. She feels shocked. She's going through grief. She and as a child.
Mhm.
And she still feels this like really deep, I think like sadness that she never was honest.
Yeah, she
with Swan
feels guilt that, like, in a kind of way that is a little bit childish and not exactly accurate. She feels like she was never truly, like, as admirable as Swan Circling thought she was because she didn't tell Swan Circling about her greatest shame.
Yes,
Yeah, but
100%.
Swan Circling didn't care.
I'm like, no, that girl just wanted a friend,
Yeah.
a child to care for. So the village is in mourning and grieving, and they send out runners to run to all of like the nearby people who aren't with them anymore, groupings to like let them know that this has happened. And in particular, Swan Circling's family isn't there currently and doesn't live close enough to come help with any sort of burial rites. So they have sent off a runner to go at least
Let them know.
relay the message that like she's going to be buried
Yeah,
and like yeah, that it's over.
it's over. Good night and goodbye, Swan
Good
Circling.
night and goodbye, Swan Circling. So because her family's not close enough, and traditionally her family would prepare all of like the burial rites and things,
Mhm.
the women of Claw Necklace's family step up and start to prepare everything. So there is like a gravesite that's picked. There are new like deer hides that are made
Mhm.
and a new set of moccasins to clothe her body in.
Mhm.
There's food that's made for the whole community so that they'll have like a feast and kind of talk about honoring her memory. Um, and Kaya is like spending a lot of time with running alone and the baby and feeling like sad, but the
Yeah.
baby is getting better. So she feels like a little bit of like hope in that.
Yeah.
She sings like uh lullabies and she thinks that like Swan Circling must be listening to me
Yeah.
like wherever she is.
Sad.
It's super sad. And then you guys back to the flute. I know you guys are worried that the flute wasn't coming back, but I promised you that the flute was in every fucking chapter of this book. So we do take a sidestep to talk about the fucking flute.
Yeah.
Because Kaya hears a sound
Mhm.
and she actually thinks it might be like
Swan Circling,
Swan
like,
Circling sending her a signal.
but no, it's just 2 hawks blowing on his flute.
Yeah. And he does have a good one now.
Yeah.
And he's figuring it out. He's learning how to play it better. And she's like, "Can I see it?" And he just gives it to her.
Yeah.
And she kind of like looks it over and she's like, "Good work. This looks great." And he's like, "Runs home, help me. He's my friend now."
Yeah, it's got a new friend.
And
He has whole B plot.
she's like, "This is crazy. I didn't know that was possible for you."
It's funny because like, POV, this is 2 hawk story. Like, it's like, we just kept checking in with him.
Yeah, I was
Like, I feel like there should be a separate book that's like 2 hawks' whistle.
because even like because Speaking Rain is gone, he is basically like the best friend
Yeah.
um filler, I guess,
That's tough.
version. It is tough. We don't I'm still not he hasn't won us
I
over.
mean, he hasn't won me over at all.
Because she's like, "Look, like now you can learn how to play it." And he's like, "I can play it." And then he like toots on it crazy style.
He's a lot.
But it's fine. And it at least alleviates some burden of sadness on her heart.
Feels a little bit hope, which is like, at least things are like improving in some way.
He's healing and he's making a friend and he's less sad and
Yeah.
curmudgeonly. So like these things are good, I guess. And then she's like, and surely like Swan Circling can see all of this goodness and that like
Yeah.
her sacrifice did help the baby get better.
Yeah.
Again, not from anything dire though, which
No.
does again undercut her sacrifice
It's tough.
a little bit. So the last thing that has to be done before Swan Circling,
Is that peace?
her spirit can be let to be go is all of her belongings must be given away or burned,
Uh-huh.
which I thought was very interesting.
I like that.
Like all your material connection.
Yeah, I sound like that everyone gets, like, something of someone they cared about, which I know is kinda like a will a little bit, but it
Yeah.
is kinda nice to like, "Oh, like, we've decided you get her moccasins," you and so it's kind of a way to keep that person like, whenever I wear these shoes, I think of
Yeah.
Swan Circling, or whenever I use this basket, I think of my friend. Like,
Yeah,
I like that it
100%.
kind of keeps the memory alive.
Well, there's that idea right, that you die twice when you actually die and then when people stop, like,
Talking
talking about
about
you.
you. Yeah.
And so I think that's great
Mhm.
here. I think it's very beautiful. Also, like, we do get more, of an aside about, like, the burial process
Yeah.
before we get to the final sequence. Um, Basically, like, they wrapped her body and then all of the things that, like, they're going to bring for burning
Mhm.
in new, like, cloth and, like, these mats, and then they bring her to a burial site.
Where she faces east
Just faces east,
for the rising sun.
and, a medicine man is there.
Yeah.
He's using his powers to, guide the spirit back,
Mhm.
and he's, like, this very broad, powerful man. His art is kinda
Yeah, it has, like there's a lot, like, vignette art in this book
yeah,
that's, like, actually relevant, which it usually isn't.
it's just kind of nice because like, you get these descriptions, and then he's there, and then he, talks out loud, basically addressing the living to be like, "Oh, all of us are here to grieve and
Yep.
mourn the loss of, like, a woman with such a powerful, strong spirit." And then he turns in his talking to talk to her spirit to
Yeah.
encourage her that, like, now is the time to be released and
Mhm.
move on into the ether, and, then they put her body in the grave, and they cover it with a mat, and then, they all step up to the grave, and they put dirt on top of it,
Yeah.
one by one until she's buried.
Love it.
Love it. Okay, so Itza, so Kaya's mom, steps up, and because she was Swan Circling's close friend, she is the one who is dividing out all of the belongings
Mhm.
for this final sort of gift giving to help her spirit move on. And so all of her belongings are put out on a mat, and Tota calls them up, and he goes through all of these different things. Running Alone gets the mortar and pestle, Little Fawn gets a digging stick, Kautza gets a parfleche, which I don't know what it is, and I'm gonna look that up right now.
I hope it's the same digging stick that Swan Circling stabbed the raiders with.
Oh, it's, a bag.
Okay.
Just like a beautiful
Oh, that's nice.
handmade bag. Um, so she gets that, and then, other women get, like, her jewelry and her
Yeah.
shells and things like that, and finally, there's basically, like, nothing left behind except, with the saddle,
Mhm.
and Kaya's kinda just, like, watching this happen, and then, Kaya
Yeah,
is called
so
up.
yeah.
It's well, and it's very charming because they start by saying that, like, Claw Necklace had acknowledged that Swan Circling had talked about her noticing that Kaya had a way with the horses, and
Yeah.
had, like, a special connection, so they were like, "It only makes sense that, like, you get her saddle."
Mhm.
And Kaya is very, like,
Overwhelmed.
overwhelmed by this, and she, like, holds it. Okay, and then this is the interesting thing that Caroline and I were talking in the last episode about,
Yeah.
that I fear
They need to explain
they
that.
should have given more. The peeking to the power should have been utilized better.
Yes.
So, Tota tells Kaya
Mhm.
that there's a more important final gift to
For
be given to her. And that is that before Swan Circling died, she came to Kaya's parents
Mhm.
and said that she'd had a very, very dark vision. And in that dark vision, she believed it might like be alluding to her
Imminent demise.
imminent demise. And should that happen, she'd like to give Kaya the gift of her name.
Yeah.
And that because she was fond of you, and like we said earlier, she has no children.
So it's like she's passing on her, like, name legacy to Kaya.
Also, you're not to invoke the name of the dead.
Yeah.
But I picked that up through context clues, not because the fucking thing said it
No.
literally. Um, so she believes that like Kaya will carry her name on and like give honor to it in the future. So Kaya's parents accepted
Yeah.
on Kaya's behalf and are now telling her
That
that
she
like
can use her name.
with time.
Which, like, what does this mean is what Celia and I are kind of does Kaya lose Kaya? and become Swan Circling?
So I think this is something we can dig into. We'll look into it.
We'll look into it. We'll let you guys know in the next episode.
Or if you guys know, well,
This
we'll have
one that
actually
I
already
really-
simply recorded the next
Yeah,
one.
you
So
can still let us know.
you can let us.
You guys give us good context sometimes.
That's true. So basically, it's like the greatest gift like somebody else can bestow
Yeah,
by saying, "I like you will take up my title,
my honor,
my honor."
my like memory, kind of.
And again, I think we know because we're adult women who are reading these books
Yeah.
that we're probably building towards the Vision Quest plot line,
The rescue,
the rescue plot line, and like I think really Kaya's story is her growing up, right? That's her arc. I think more so really than any of the other girls, where it is just like passing from being a child
into a
being,
woman.
like a young woman.
Yeah, I think so.
So anyway, she gets the name. And she is very grateful. She's very overwhelmed because, you know, she thought so highly of Swan Circling. And she's like, what an amazing gift to be given by somebody. However, she immediately is like, I don't think I'm worthy of it. And I think this is bad. And how will I
I love her
like
too.
it is like what? She's 9, 10.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh my God. If somebody was like, you're going to take on like your mother's name with time.
Yeah.
Like give it value, give
Yeah.
it worth. So she is agonizing. She feels very complicated about it. And she struggles with her regrets of never telling Swan Circling the truth of like what happened, with her name.
Yeah.
And with like speaking ring.
Yeah.
So one night, or actually that night, after being told she's getting the name, she's inside the teepee with her mother, and she says to Itza, she's basically like, I'm troubled about my namesake.
Yeah.
And she's careful to not invoke Swan Circling's name. And Itza kind of is like, all right, well, like, what's the trouble? Like, let's talk about it. And she's like, I don't think she would have given me my name, given me her name if she knew how bad I was, like how many mistakes I made, that I was the reason that Speaking Rain and I got taken captive, and that like she's been left behind and all these things. And Itza looks at her and she's like, okay, fair things to be troubled by. But then she kind of like Deus Ex Machina has like a bunch of things to backfill to us about why Kaya doesn't need to feel that guilty.
Oh, she knew about that.
Yeah, she's like, well, first of all, one, Magpie namesake, she already knew. And she knew that you would like grow up and like get through it and become like a strong and trustworthy person. Cause she could see that like you carried like the weight of like the burden of the name with you. And that she saw and knew and understood that it would have taken a great amount of courage and bravery to leave behind your sister in an attempt to like make sure that you could try to rescue her at all.
Yeah.
And that like you were wise to do so. And Kaya's like, she said that?
Yeah.
And Itza's like, well, she's dead, so how's she gonna question me? She doesn't say that. But she is like, yes. And she basically just like, she often spoke of you, that she like hoped like you would become more confident and more self-assured and all these things with time. And it's not, this is, okay, here's the other thing. It's not time for you to use her name yet, but when that time comes, you'll know.
And Kaya decides.
Like, nothing.
No, she's like, I'll use that name once I rescue my sister.
Yeah. Whoa, and her horse.
And my horse. And that's like the end.
But she's like, it's just kind of crazy. So she makes a little pine needle horse the next day. And she's like, I have something I must do. And she also makes them for her brothers, which is cute. And she's like, look, you guys can race and play with these now.
Little horsies.
And then she goes out on a little trek. She doesn't tell anybody where she's going.
Classic Kaya.
But mercifully, this is the end of the book. So we kind of know she's going to be safe
rated
in just this one specific instance. So she goes to the gravesite and she sets the little pine needle horse on like the burial mat and like looks up to the sky and is just basically like, I promise that like I'm going to live up to your expectations and make good on it. And before I do anything, I will get my sister back and I will get my horse back.
God is my witness.
God is my witness. And then she just stands there for a little bit and thinks about all the other festivities that are going to happen. And that's the end of the book.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Rest in peace. Good night and goodbye, Swan Circling.
So kind of a bummer.
Yeah, this was kind of a sad one in an unexpected way.
It's sad because I think it's interesting, and let me know if you feel this way too. Kaya's books are, I feel like, the first books where there are continuing important narratives from book
Yeah.
to book that don't resolve, including
Yeah,
like
you're
her
right.
guilt
Mhm.
and like this bad, because everything else, like, they're shorter
No,
emotions.
you're right. The other ones are a little bit more episodic, where it's like you could kind of read them out of order and things would like
Or you could leave them behind for like a
besides
wider
maybe
feel.
Addie.
I was gonna say Addie, I think,
Because
is
of
the
like
other.
similarly family members missing
Right. There is
piece.
like the reunification
Yeah.
through line, which I think, and I know we talked about this when we read Addie, is why her books, I think,
Resonated more.
resonated way more
Yeah.
because you have something you're working towards
Yeah.
over
Very obviously.
time.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was interesting to basically enter this book from a solemn place of like, she already feels guilty. She feels like she is kind of like
Yeah.
pushing against, her bad feelings every day. She
Mhm.
wants to be friends with Swan Circling and wants her to admire her, but she can't get it the way that she wants it
Yeah.
because she feels guilty and she wants to share this thing. And then to literally be like, and you never will.
Yeah, it's
And that
tough.
does happen. Like,
It happens
right?
in real life too.
You guys, that happens in real life.
It's a real lesson to learn for girls, but necessary, I think.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but go tell somebody something really important that you feel guilty about. Or don't. And maybe they'll die and you'll never get that weight off your chest. Anyway, we can get into our closing thoughts, but I'll just TLDR the looking back
Yeah, not much.
because not to lie to you guys, I was disappointed that I've already said it.
They keep the same
Structured.
structure for the looking backs as they do for the other books, even though these books diverge from the narrative, which is a little bit off, I think.
It is off because you go from this like very kind of like ruminative, melancholy ending, and then it's like in winter times, here's what would happen.
And I mean, we do get a little bit on the solstice festivals that we're talking about, but it
Yeah.
just, I think the problem is like, it doesn't add any context to what happened to the story. And as you said, we had a few questions about the like traditions and like like burial, burial, burial
Virials.
traditions that just don't get answered because they keep the structure. So, and then the glutton story was maybe the worst like story I've ever read. It didn't even make sense.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I think happened, and then I want you to tell me what you think
Okay.
happened, and then we'll discuss.
Okay.
So when I read it, a guy and his wife,
Mhm.
husband and wife, they're living together, but he is a selfish little monster and he is eating his food, extra food, and keeping it from her. And he's
Mhm.
hiding these things. And then she finds the wife, the bones
Mhm.
of the grouses that he's been eating
Mhm.
on his own and the feathers. And she goes, haha, selfish fuck. I'm going to show him he's been cheating on me. And then she goes to the village
Mhm.
from their home, and he comes and leaves behind the bones and feathers that she
Mhm.
found in an obvious way. Then her husband comes back and is like, "Here's the bones and feathers. I have to go collect my wife." But when he comes and he goes to collect his wife, she's dancing in the city center,
Mhm.
and all these men are like looking at her, and she's so interesting and beautiful. And then he threatens her with a bow and arrow.
Mhm.
And then she's like, "What am I, a grouse?"
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
Yeah, I think for brevity's sake, they removed 30% of the story.
Because it's just like, he's, like, ashamed and he, like, leaves the bow and arrow.
And so she just stays.
And then yeah, and he leaves.
It was a bad story. If you guys think we're being short about it, no, that's
I'm not even
exactly it.
it's
It's one
one
page.
page, and it's like, once a guy was there, and then the wife was there, and then she thought that he was hiding food from her.
And he was,
And he
so
was.
she left, and then he said, "Come back," and she said, "No," and so he left, and she stayed.
It's also crazy. It literally says, "He took an arrow, drew back his bow, and aimed at her. She turned to him and said, 'It does not happen to be that I am a grouse.' Her talk made him feel ashamed. He dropped his bow and went straight home. The woman stayed right there."
Yep.
You guys, that's the last 4
It
sentences of
also
that
doesn't
story.
relate to, anything that happened in this book.
Nope.
So, yeah.
Sure doesn't.
No, we get, like, some solstice festival stuff. We get, like, that it was a season of, like
Oh, yeah, so it is interesting a little bit. The last page before this terrible, terrible The Glutton story,
yeah.
talks a little bit more about, like, the medicine dances and that, like, they would sing songs to, like, summon, like, their guardian spirits and, like, honor their memories, and that, like, the kids were allowed to watch those dances, unlike
Mhm.
some of the other kind of festivities where you had to be, like, of a certain age and
Yeah.
of, like, a certain, like, status to, like,
Yeah.
participate in them, kind of like the courting dance in
Mhm.
the other book. Um but that they were allowed to watch the dances because eventually when their guardian spirit comes to them on their vision quest, you guys, we keep getting vision quest
Vision quest.
lore. I'm like, no, this all should have been condensed into one peek into the past
Okay,
early
vision
on
quest.
because I like it's so obviously sprinkled throughout all these books.
You don't like being teased?
It just bothers me because I want to know what we're working towards. And it's like, hey, this piece of information, pay attention, is going to pay attention, is going to be pay attention, is going to be important later. I'm going to pay attention.
Gotta
Keep
piece them
telling
all
me to.
together, though.
And
Leave the little scraps.
I'm like, don't do that. But anyway, because once they have their vision quest, then they're allowed to participate in the dancing.
But not until
So I do think that this Peek into the Past confirms what you said last episode,
Yeah.
which is that she probably isn't talking about those things yet, like the visions that she's had, these guiding things, because she hasn't been called to her quest yet,
Yeah, I think so.
and she has to figure it out. So anyway, the end.
Closing thoughts?
I
Rest in
like
peace?
I like the book, but it
I'm
was
liking the books.
well, there. I think we've already said this. Her writing is way better.
Yeah. Good job, Jeanette.
Yay! Burial.
Jan.
All right.
Real.
I think the world is very rich. The characters are very interesting. The story, look, yes, I know I complained about it. They get a little laggy,
It's
but these
still
little books
interesting,
always do.
but it's also still interesting, though, in the context that even when it's laggy, it's still new information and, like,
Yeah.
new. But it has the same slight problem with the Josefina where it's like you have to set up so much world for us that sometimes
Yes.
it gets, like, overly wordy and overly explaining things that, like, take time.
Like the second chapter being 3 to 4 different vignettes,
Yeah.
whereas like I almost feel like you could have. And, I have a creative writing minor, and you have a screenwriting master's degree.
Yeah.
So we're women who write.
Yeah, we're writers.
Uh, I think if it was me, the introduction of the baby getting sick could have maybe come earlier, and then the cultural stuff could have been more evenly spread throughout.
Yeah.
I think instead it's like, hey, in chapter 2, I need to get out these 6 cultural factoids for you, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna go back to the plot. So that was my only gripe, but I liked the plot.
Mhm.
I know I've talked about it before, especially with Josefina. It's nice to have the girls deal with grief.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think it's important, and I think having it be a non-direct family member
Yeah.
is always, like it's interesting because I think traditionally it's easy shorthand for a kid to understand that you could be sad about losing, like, a mom or a dad or your friend, but I think, like, these sort of peripheral figures, like, we've talked about it
Yeah.
before, but, like, I'm not super close with my living grandparents, but I have, like, surrogate grandparents who have, like, really stepped in my life, but they're not blood related to me at all,
Yeah.
but I have, like, a much closer relationship with them,
Yeah.
and so I think, like, I would have a deeper level of grief to lose
Yeah. No,
them.
and I think it's, like I always think it's also nice too to show, like, kind of a female, like, heroine who isn't, like, a relative, like, that you can, like, admire, like, a woman and obviously, I know we're kind of ragging on but I do like that it's, like, speaking, Swan Circling was, like, kind of, like, not a mother, let's say just, like, a strong warrior woman, like, that she's a different woman in the tribe than other women Kaya has seen, and that's kind of why she admires her in, like, a unique way.
Yeah, especially because we keep getting these ideas that, like, Kai wants to be like a horsewoman, like a
Mhm.
strong, like, horsewoman, a strong trainer,
Or
and,
just,
like
like, showing you, like, when you, like, representation matters and, like, the silliest way to say that,
oh,
but, like
100%.
but it is, like, Kaya sees someone who is living the life that she wants to do, and so she emulates this
Correct.
person, and it's like you need those people as a child,
Yes.
and they're not always your family members,
No.
and so I did like that, and I thought this
Yeah.
was very I was very sad when, Sponsor at
Oh,
the end
it was very sad.
I didn't expect to be, and I was like, "Oh my god."
And I like you said, the going through, like, the burial rite
Yeah. That was nice,
thing
yeah.
was cool. So,
That was good. So, guys, share this with the female adult in your life who wasn't your mom, but you really cared for.
Show this with the boy that you are begrudgingly becoming friends with.
Share this with the person in your life who makes the best whistles.
And share this with the person that you would give your belongings to away. Actually, all of them. How many people can you send this to?
Yeah, share this with someone whose name you would, who you
Oh,
whose who you would
who-
give them your name.
Yeah,
It's a big one.
that's big. Sound off in the comments.
Sounds off in the comments,
Tell us.
guys, because we
We
would give you our
dirty little secrets. We would give you our names. You can have both our names.
and we care about you guys.
2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, a twofer.
2-for.
And guys, like, share the message.
Leave us a review.
Yeah.
Send us a love, a little heart, a
Talk
little
to us.
virtual kiss.
Our own Wyakins.
Our own Wykins.
Send out a spirit message from the shadow realm.
Careful.
Don't do that.
Don't do that one. We're not ready for that.
But we'll be back, guys, with I think it's Kaya and Lone Dog next.
Yeah.
Exciting. I don't know what that means.
I'm feeling like it's gonna be a wolf
Yeah, I also will say
or a coyote.
I still barely remember reading these books. I kind of remembered when Swan Circling died. That I was like, oh yeah, I knew that. Like deep in my
when you're like
deep
child.
in like the recess of my mind, I was like, of course I remember that.
Wait, duh.
But that's all I remember. It's like I remember a flash of each of these books. But
I know. I'm excited to continue to see what kind of crazy things.
what book do you think we're going to get Speaking Rain back in?
The second to last or last book.
Okay, second to last.
I feel like we still have time. I feel like you want the truth. The horse is going to come back before her sister. I
Think so?
fully believe that.
Okay, I think we're gonna get Speaking Rain back in the second to last book.
Okay, because I feel like the changes book
Mhm.
won't be the rescue book.
Well, it's called Kaya Shows the Way, I think is the second to last book. So I'm thinking that's when we're gonna get everyone back.
I feel like prediction horse next book,
Okay.
Speaking Rain book after that, which would be second to last,
Okay.
and then changes will be who knows?
Who knows?
Not me.
We'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out. And
Until we
no
get there?
spoilers.
No spoilers.
Well, once again, we'll probably have already.
Well, yeah, we kind of lumped these
But, like,
together.
want you guys to like feel like
But yeah.
cheap.
But don't spoil it for the other people listening, you know? So. But you guys, thanks for listening as always, and we'll catch you next time. So, goodbye.